Before there were gods, before there were humans, before there was the sky or the sea, there was only chaos. Chaos was not a place. It was not a god. It was simply nothing. No sound, no sound, no light, no time, just endless silence. From this silence, slowly, very slowly, the first beings appeared. The first was Gaia, the earth. The earth, Gaia, was calm. She was quiet. She did not speak loudly. She simply existed. Then came Tartarus, the deep, dark place beneath everything. And then Eros, the gentle force of connection. Time passed. Slowly, without hurry, Gaia, the earth, created the sky. His name was Uranus. Uranus covered Gaia completely. Sky above, earth below. Together they had many children. They were called the Titans. There were 12 Titans. They were powerful, but not emotional, not dramatic, just strong and ancient. Among them was Cronus. Cronus was quiet, but ambitious. Uranus feared his own children, so he hid them deep inside the earth. Gaia felt pain, and slowly she planned. She gave Cronus a sickle made of stone. When the time came, Cronus rose without anger, without shouting, and Uranus fell. Cronus became ruler of everything. Time passed again. Slowly, Cronus married Rhea, but Cronus was afraid. He feared his own children. So, one by one, he swallowed them. Hestia, Demeter, Hera, Hades, Poseidon, all gone. Rhea was silent. But she remembered Gaia's pain. When her final child was born, she made a choice. That child was Zeus. She hid Zeus far away and gave Cronus a stone instead. Cronus swallowed it without noticing. Zeus grew slowly, quietly, and the world waited. This is how everything began, and this is only the beginning. Zeus grew up quietly. He did not rush. He did not speak much. He listened, and he waited. He was raised far away from Cronus, hidden in a quiet place, surrounded by silence and time. As Zeus grew older, he learned the truth. He learned about his brothers and sisters. He learned about Cronus, and he learned about fear. Zeus did not feel anger. He felt purpose. Slowly, carefully, Zeus returned with help from Gaia. Zeus gave Cronus a drink, a simple drink, nothing dramatic. And one by one, Cronus released what he had swallowed. First came the stone, then Hestia, Demeter, Hera, Hades, Poseidon. They were alive. They were calm. They were free. The world remained quiet, but something had changed. The Titans noticed, and slowly, very slowly, a great war began. This war was called the Titanamachi. It lasted 10 long years. 10 years of waiting. 10 years of slow battles. 10 years of endless time. There was no shouting, no heroes cheering, only movement and silence between storms. The Titans stood tall, ancient, heavy, slow. Slow. The Olympian gods were younger, lighter, more aware. But strength alone was not enough. So Zeus went deeper, deeper into the earth, to a place called Tartarus. No, but he freed the Cyclopes. The Cyclopes were giant beings with one eye and calm voices. They were grateful. They gave gifts to Zeus. They gave lightning to Poseidon. They gave the trident to Hades. They gave the helmet of invisibility. The war continued. Slow, endless, heavy lightning moved across the sky. The earth shook gently. The sea rose, then rested. Eventually, the Titans grew tired. And slowly they fell. Cronus was defeated, not destroyed, not erased, just ended. The Titans were sent to Tartarus, locked away, silent. The war ended without celebration, and the world became still again. Now there were new rulers. Zeus looked at the sky and claimed it. Poseidon looked at the sea and claimed it. Hades looked below and accepted the underworld. They did not argue. They did not fight. Everything had its place. Zeus became king of the gods, not loud, not emotional, just present. Mount Olympus became their home, high above the clouds, far from humans, far from noise. Time passed again, slowly, quietly. The age of Titans had ended. The age of Olympians had begun, and the world continued to exist. Time passed. The war was over. The sky was quiet. The sea was calm. The earth rested. High above the clouds, there was Mount Olympus. It was not loud. It was not bright. It was still. It was still. This is where the gods lived. They did not rush. They did not hurry. They simply existed. Zeus ruled the sky. He did not need to speak often. When he did, his voice was slow. Lightning followed him. But quietly, he watched over gods and humans. Not closely, not carefully, just enough. He made decisions, slow decisions, and time continued. Hera was the queen. She ruled marriage and order. She liked things balanced. She did not smile much. She did not shout. She observed. She remembered. And she waited. Poseidon ruled the sea. The sea was calm until it was not. But Poseidon himself was slow. He carried a trident, not to use, just to hold. Waves rose, then fell, always returning to silence. Hades ruled the underworld, not a place of fire, not a place of fear, just a place below. Hades was quiet. He did not visit Olympus often. He stayed where he belonged. He ruled without complaint. Demeter ruled the harvest. She watched the fields grow and watched them rest. She understood seasons and patience. Seeds fell. Seeds waited, and life returned. Slowly, Hestia ruled the hearth. Fire that warmed, not burned. She stayed inside, away from conflict. She liked stillness, and the gods respected her silence. Athena was born from Zeus, fully grown, fully calm. She ruled wisdom, not loud knowledge, quiet understanding. She thought before acting, and often she did nothing. Apollo ruled light and music. His music was slow. His songs were gentle. He did not sing loudly. The sun rose. The sunset and Apollo followed the rhythm. Artemis ruled the moon. She walked alone through forests. She did not speak much. Moonlight followed her steps. Soft, quiet Ares ruled war. But even war grew tired. He was restless, but never satisfied. Eventually, even he became quiet. Aphrodite ruled love, not excitement, not passion, just attraction. She arrived like a breeze and left the same way. Hephaestus worked with fire, slow work, careful work. Metalben, tools formed. He worked alone and did not complain. Hermes moved quickly, but even he rested. Messenger of the gods, traveler between worlds. Eventually, he stopped and listened. The gods existed. They ruled their domains. They did not interfere much. Humans were far below. Small, quiet, the world turned. Day followed night. Night followed day. And nothing needed to change. Time continued to move. Not quickly, not slowly, just steadily. The gods existed above and below them. The earth waited. Otiti first. There were no humans, only land, only water, only wind. Then humans were created, not all at once, not perfectly. Slowly, Prometheus. There was a titan named Prometheus. He was not loud. He was not strong. He was thoughtful. Prometheus shaped humans from clay carefully. Gently, they were simple beings. They stood quietly on the earth. Zeus noticed them, but did not care much. Prometheus watched the humans. They were cold. They were slow. They were unsure. So Prometheus made a choice. He gave them fire, not loudly, not proudly, just quietly. Fire warmed them, helped them cook, helped them see at night. Zeus eventually noticed. He was not angry. He was disappointed. So Zeus took something away. Pandora. Zeus created Pandora. She was given many gifts. Beauty, curiosity, and a box. Not a dramatic box. Just a simple one. Pandora was told not to open it. Time passed. The box stayed closed until one day, slowly, quietly, Pandora opened it. Inside were troubles, illness, sadness, worry. They escaped without noise. Pandora closed the box again. Inside, only hope remained, and hope stayed. The ages of humanity. Humans lived through many ages. The golden age came first. People lived calmly. No pain. No pain. No hurry. No, then it ended. The silver age followed. People grew slower, less patient. Then it ended too. The Bronze Age arrived. People became stronger, but louder, and finally, the Age of Heroes. This was an age of stories, of journeys, of effort. But even heroes needed rest. And after them came the age humans live in now, an age of work and waiting. Prometheus was punished, not loudly, not cruelly. He was simply bound and left to wait. Humans continued. They built, they rested, they wondered. The gods watched from far away, not interfering much. The earth turned, seasons changed, life continued as it always does. Time moved forward. The gods remained above. Humans lived below. Between them, heroes appeared. Not suddenly, not loudly, just slowly. Perseus was born quietly. His life began with uncertainty, but no fear. One day, he was given a task to find Medusa. Medusa was not loud, not screaming. She lived alone, far away. Perseus did not rush. The gods helped him gently. Athena gave him a shield. Hermes gave him sandals. Perseus walked step by step. He looked only at reflections, not directly. And when the moment came, it ended quietly. Perseus returned. No celebration, no cheering, just completion. Theseus lived in a city called Athens. The city was calm, but worried. A creature lived in a maze, the Minotaur. Theseus volunteered, not bravely, not proudly, just willingly. He entered the maze. Slow footsteps, long corridors, a thread guided him. Eventually, the maze ended and Theseus returned to the light. Athens rested again. Hercules, was strong, but strength was heavy. He was given tasks not as punishment, just as work. 12 tasks, each one slow, each one tiring. He lifted, he walked. 2. He waited, lions, rivers, stables. One task followed another. Not exciting, not dramatic, just effort. Eventually, the tasks ended. Hercules rested. Orpheus played music. Soft music, quiet sounds. When he lost someone he loved, he went below to the underworld. Hades listened. Music filled the darkness. Orpheus was allowed to leave. He walked ahead. He did not look back until he did. And silence returned. Heroes lived. Heroes struggled. Heroes rested. Their stories spread slowly from voice to voice, not loudly, just remembered. Time moved forward. Heroes grew older. The gods grew quieter. And one final story slowly began. The beginning of the Trojan War. A small choice started everything. A golden apple, not important, not heavy, just an object. 3 goddesses wanted it. Paris was asked to choose. He chose quietly, and the world changed. Helen left her home. Not loudly, not suddenly. She went to Troy, and slowly ships began to move. The war lasted 10 years. 10 long years. Battles came, then stopped. Heroes fought, then rested. Achilles was strong, but distant. But Hector was brave, but calm. They met and one of them fell. The war continued, not because of anger, but because it had started the Trojan horse. The Greeks became tired, so they waited, and then they left a horse, a wooden horse, silent, still. Troy welcomed it. Night came. The horse opened. The city slept, and the war ended quietly. The fall of Troy. Troy burned. Troy burned, not loudly, not gloriously, just ended. People left. Buildings fell, and silence returned. After the war, the heroes returned home. Slow journeys, long waits. Some arrived, some did not. Odysseus wandered year after year until eventually he rested. The gods fade away. The gods watched, but less than before. They spoke rarely. Humans no longer waited for signs. They built their own stories, their own cities, their own time. The gods remained, but only in memory. After the war, after the heroes, after the gods stepped back, the world did not stop. It simply slowed down. Cities were rebuilt. Stones were placed carefully. Walls rose quietly. People remembered the old stories, but they no longer lived inside them. They told them at night by firelight, in calm voices. Life after the gods. Zeus no longer threw lightning. Poseidon no longer shook the sea. Hades remained below, unchanged. The gods still existed, but they watched from very far away. They no longer interfered. Humans planted fields, waited for rain, hoped for good seasons. And when things went wrong, they did not always blame the gods. They simply waited. Temples and silence. Temples were built. Tall columns, cold stone. People entered quietly. They did not expect answers, only comfort. Candles burned. Smoke rose, then faded. Stories become legends. Heroes became names. Names became memories. Memories became stories. Stories were repeated again and again until the excitement faded and only calm remained. Time passes. Years passed. Then decades. Then centuries. Children listened, then grew old, and the stories stayed the same, unchanged, unmoving. The world learned something. Everything rises, everything falls, and everything eventually rests. The stories did not disappear. They softened. Zeus was no longer a king. He became a thought. Hera was no longer a queen. She became an idea. Poseidon was no longer angry. The sea simply moved and rested. Athena no longer spoke. Wisdom existed quietly inside people. Apollo's music faded into silence. Artemis walked no more. The moon still rose on its own. The gods did not leave. They dissolved into dreams. People slept, and sometimes they remembered nothing. Time moved forward. Empires changed. Rome rose. Rome rose. The gods did not resist. They changed their names. Zeus became Jupiter. Hera became Juno. Ares became Mars. Nothing else changed. The stories stayed the same. Different words. Same silence. Temples stood. Then aged people prayed. Then stopped. And the gods waited without concern. Humans began to think differently. They asked questions, not about gods, but about life. Philosophers sat quietly. Plato thought. Aristotle observed. They did not shout. They spoke slowly. The universe did not need gods anymore. It moved. Because it moved, the myths remained as lessons as calm reminders that everything passes. The world is quiet. Nothing needs to happen. The gods are resting. The heroes are gone. The earth turns. Night follows day. Day follows night. Breathing in, breathing out. Nothing is urgent. Nothing is missing. The stories remain unchanged. You are safe. You are resting. The world is quiet, and it will remain quiet. The world is quiet. Nothing needs to happen. And now the story is complete. Nothing more needs to happen. The gods are silent. The heroes are resting. The world continues on its own. These stories have been told. They do not ask to be remembered. They simply remain. You can let go now. The night is calm. The world is quiet. And this story has reached its end.